Brink is the latest in 2011's long list of first-person shooters. Competition amongst titles for your time and money is fierce, but this is one we have eagerly been awaiting ever since London-based developers Splash Damage revealed that the game would revolve around parkour-style freedom of movement. Brink is set in a dystopian near future in which the entire world has become flooded due to our general environmental stupidity. Don't worry though, you won't be bogged down with too much of the story here, as the emphasis is very much on the action from start to finish. In fact, Brink doesn't have a traditional single-player campaign as you've come to expect from games like Call of Duty or Halo. In a throwback to games like Unreal Tournament, the whole single-player experience is little more than a training exercise for where the real action is, online. Offline, gamers undertake missions with and against a team of bots, completing objectives and earning XP with infinite respawns, just as they would online. There are also challenge missions which are not only necessary to unlocking new weapons and attachments, but each focuses on training you in one particular aspect of the game. Brink seems complicated at first, but once you've been through the opening challenges, it'll all make sense. In fact, Brink is a fantastic game, on paper at least, and many of its features do genuinely gel really well to create some exciting and unique matches. However, there are just a few crucial things that the game doesn't get quite right. Parkour, also known as freerunning, is about manoeuvring around obstacles using the power and agility of the human body. This has been integrated into the game through what Splash Damage are calling smooth movement across random terrain, or SMART for short, which translates simple inputs into acrobatic movements. This has been the most hyped aspect of the game, and it actually works really well 99% of the time. Simply hold down the sprint button or correctly time your jump or crouch, and your player will vault, wall hop, slide, and scale objects with speed. This is not a game that rewards stealth or pacing. Each map has been carefully designed to reward players who make the most of the ability to defy the intraversible obstacles of familiar games. Most characters can't do anything too dramatic, but it does increase the pace of the game. I say most characters, because you actually have the option of creating your own from scratch, and once unlocked you'll be able to choose from one of 3 body types, which affects how your character moves, how much damage they can take, and what weapons they can wield. You start with the medium body type, which balances health, agility, and the ability to carry 2 decent rifles. Heavy types have higher health, and they can lug around the heavier weapons such as chain guns, but they lack speed and the ability to get over anything but the smallest obstacles. Light body types are for the experts. The swiftest of all the classes, they can also wall hop to reach areas inaccessible to others. Whilst they lack the ability to carry anything but the lightest weapons, carrying a pistol also means you carry a knife in your offhand, rewarding players who use the ability to stalk their prey or deal out serious damage up close. Another nice feature of the SMART system is that if you get tackled or knocked off your feet, you can still shoot while sprawled out on the floor. Your vision and aim is affected, but you aren't helpless, and you can choose your moment to get back up and get into the fray. The entire game is set upon a giant floating city in which humanity is taking refuge. As supplies run low and refugees flood in, a new class system is developed, and with it, a revolution. When you start Brink, you'll be asked to pick which side you'll fight for, but then you'll have the option to dip into either side's missions as and when you want. The only permanent aspects of your new character will be his skin type, voice, and tattoos. Clothing, accessories, and even body type can be changed between games. Brink is a class and squad-based shooter, and cooperative gameplay is vital to success. Lone wolves will quickly find themselves waiting to respawn as vital seconds to complete your objective tick away. Every map has a series of objectives for each side to complete, either attacking or defending. There are 4 classes to choose from, and each not only has its own particular uses and strengths, but different objectives require different skills. Soldiers can set explosives, operatives can hack computers, but only engineers can deactivate both and repair equipment. You won't get too far without your medics, and you'll need them to keep your VIPs moving towards their target. Command posts litter the map. Holding them rewards your team with perks, and gives you a place to restock ammo and change weapons or class to suit the situation. As I said, the SMART system is great, and expect to see it copied in many future games. Splash Damage have also created the sense that you're just a ragtag paramilitary group and not an elite fighting force, and the action is often up close and frantic as a result. The objectives, time limits, and need for cooperation create tense and engrossing games that leave you sweating. The radial wheel can be used to quickly pick and highlight objectives, ensuring you always have something important to do and know exactly where you need to be. The customization options are nice. but don't bog you down with too many details or choices, as do the classes and range of upgrades which can be purchased as you level up. Maps have been well thought out and carefully designed, and the challenges do a great job of teaching you how to play. I want to love this game, I really do, and I might, after Splash Damage, address some of the criticism. The first patch has already been released and is even available to PS3 users despite network problems. However, the lack of a serious single-player campaign wouldn't be so bad if there was more to this online, but you only get 8 standard maps with a single set of objectives for each. That's it. 8 maps and only one way to play each of them for each side. The only control you have over game types is whether or not to take turns attacking and defending or move on to the next map. Sure, this is a game that's meant to be played online, but it doesn't exactly help when offline your teammate AI can drive you crazy. Teammates will ignore primary objectives, leave you unguarded, and run off solo. Basically, they will often do the opposite of what a human teammate would do, and you have no way of influencing their actions. When you do get online, lag is a bit of an issue at the moment, although apparently the developers are listening and working on it. The graphics in Brink are pretty good, but they don't stand out against recent competition. The style is nice and gives it a more distinct feel, but texture pop-in and some blander moments will hardly take your breath away. The game also dishes out XP like candy, so you'll max out your character in no time, meaning you don't have the same sense of accomplishment as in games such as Killzone. Basically, this game came really close to setting the standard for the next wave of first-person shooters. The lack of depth and disappointing AI would be fine if the game delivered a robust online experience, but it really needed a bit more variety in the number of maps and game types before it could lay claim to that accolade. For more news and reviews, check out HardAndSoftGaming.com.
Whew, breathe.